Dude, I actually want to get into sound design or food prep or advertising, because those are the two things you do not think about, but the creativity needed to do it.
You want to help
insane.
me? You want to help me?
So what I mean is like, okay, I've seen a piece on how they do the sound effects for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
The fucking...
You were pretty good at that. That's pretty good.
Doing all those sounds, right? Like, it's not some dude doing the Police Academy, like he's not doing all that, but it's literally one guy and a bunch of fruit and veggies. So in order for him to make the bone crunching sound, like all that sound, like he's using just a bell pepper. He's just grabbing a bell pepper and doing this, because you know how you want me to so close to the mic. He's doing that with the bell pepper, right? And he just and that sound, like when you see it when you hear it, it's like, damn, that sounds really close. But of course he's like, yeah, I just need to do a little work in post. And then it just sounds immediately like someone's bone just getting crunched.
And
like,
it doesn't sound like that.
Well, like, it's funny how a lot of things doesn't sound like how it does when it's recorded through a mic. Like, it's not like this is true sound. You know, like if you met me in person, I don't have this type of volume in my voice.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain...
It's totally different.
Yeah, there's certain levels that are definitely boosted and others that are suppressed or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's... Yeah, when you grab a bell pepper and you break it into it, it's not like you're like, oh my God, whose arm did I disassemble? Like, it just sounds like... You know, it's
just crack. Yeah.
But because of a mic and pick up all those weird little... the friction when you're rubbing your fingers and stuff. It's the sound of your nail piercing through it. And then that sound of it tearing open and stuff. Yeah. Another thing that he does too, for like the more fleshy like sounds, like I don't know, someone getting disemboweled or stuff, like like all that sound and shit it's literally he just grabs some banana, chews on it for a couple seconds, and then just pushes it through his mouth. He's like, it's a little gross, but in post it just sounds so fucking good. Like, and then so that's one thing that I'm like, that sounds so cool. Like, that guy is just sitting there like, how can I make someone's head like, I need a watermelon, a coconut, some wood chips, and a bat. Like,
you just got to MacGyver a sound.
It's just you're just playing.
And the only thing is, you just need the sound. You don't need anything else. So like, as long as you get the sound, nothing else matters.
He's just basically in a studio, which is kind of like what you have here facing this way, right? Except he has the TV screen, like centered, kind of like how this would be for us if your studio was focused this way.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at it and just, oh, that looks gross. All right, so he punched him twice, so I gotta grab the, and or you know what I mean? Like, he'll just play with shit like that. So that's one thing, right? And then another thing is food advertising. Now, you would not expect taking pictures of food to be so complicated, complex, and fun at the same time.
Because it looks so perfect every single time. But I heard they put like fucking glue in the cheese.
Well, yeah, if you were to eat any of those, display foods, you'd immediately go.
It tastes like wax.
Yeah,
it'd probably kill you.
Whenever you see cereal being displayed, it dumps into the milk, and the milk just... First off, everyone knows milk is not fucking perfect white, even at the littlest droplets. Like, it has some transparency to it.
Yeah.
Like, if you get a spoonful of milk and you slowly drip it, it has some, like, transparency. Like, it's not like water per se, but it's definitely not just, like,
it's
pure white.
It's just, like, dull. Yeah.
Yeah. So they legit just use paint.
Really?
Yeah, it's just cereal dropping into paint. They may mix it a little bit with some type of liquid. I'm not sure if it's water or milk or whatever, just to kind of, not make it so goopy.
Yeah.
A little, viscosity, or reduces its viscosity. But yeah, I mean, like, that's obviously not edible anyway. As you were mentioning earlier, every time you see pizza being like a slice getting taken from the pie, you're like, oh my God, it's so cheesy. It looks like the Goofy movie. Like, like and all that
stretching.
So how they do that is they legit nail the pizza onto the board that it's on. So it's legit just that whole pizza is immobilized. They, of course, make a perfect slice that they want to make or whatever, take that slice out, mix cheese and paint together, or some type of glue and paint together, and they just brush it against the side and stick this slice right back in. And then when they're recording it, when they're pulling it out, it just looks like that cheese.
What gets them to
someone just had to sit down, because I imagine it had to start off with the real thing, right? Someone's like, all right, show them taking a piece of that slice out, and they did it, and it was just so anticlimactic, and they're just like, that looks dumb. Like,
it never looks like that.
Yeah, like, it just looks that's not gonna sell anyone. Make that cheesier. And someone just had to sit down and
how do you make it cheesier?
Yeah.
How do we make this cheesier, guys? We can't let the client down.
Hey, if you give someone motivation, i.e. a paycheck, anyone will have a reason to figure it out.
What if that's the new rule in like advertising law, where they're like, you can't use, like, the food has to be the food. It has to be the food.
Well, that would be interesting. I mean, I forgot there's ways how they get away with falsely advertising.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is it's showing what it's showing, which is cheese, lettuce, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that verbatim, I think, is how it gets away with it. Because, like, we're showing what this is. Like, you can't say, oh, it's paint and cheese or whatever. I think you can, in the sense of like how production is made, but they're selling you cheese, onion, lettuce, tomato on a burger, in a burger, and that, by definition, what it is, you see what you're getting, It's not like it's saying in parentheses, you're getting this exact juicy
you just see
stack.
It. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's fun. It's funny how much joy you get when you do go to a fast food place, you order a burger, and you do see that it's so good. You actually do. Like, I've seen plenty of people before they actually bite into it, like, damn, doesn't it look like from the picture? Like, people get so happy when it is made legit right, and not like a squished version of it, because they were probably made in a hurry, because they're just average people working a job.
Average people working a shitty job, dude. If you're getting paid anywhere above minimum wage, you're making more money than them, and you probably already don't try much at your job.
Unless you're an In-N-Out.
Yeah, unless you're at In-N-Out.
I always wondered, though, what's the turnover rate for a place like that? Because, I mean, it's still fast food. It's very high demand. I mean, when have you ever gone to an In-N-Out and, like, the line's hella short?
I don't know if we should open an In-N-Out in here, guys.
Like,
each one of them slam.
And each In-N-Out I've ever seen always has a line so fucking long. Like, no wonder why they are paying those people extra bucks. Because who would want to be being paid minimum wage in such a demanding job?
How are their lines so fucking long, though?
I think the thing that really sells it for In-N-Out compared to a lot of other people is the fact that what's interesting is their marketing is damn near non-existent.
Yeah.
I didn't even know for the longest time they do have a theme song.
What?
Yeah.
They have a theme song?
Yeah, it's like, come to In-N-Out, it's what we're all about, or some shit, right? I don't know the tempo, so I'm not going to try to sing it, but I know the words have that in it. But they do have their own theme song and shit. But I think they're one of those companies that understand, like, we don't have any reason to waste any money on marketing when the word of mouth is already doing such a good job. Like, anyone who lives in California knows In-N-Out.
And we talk about it so much too. So
yeah, there's no point in them to
about it.
Yeah, there's no point in them to spend money on doing much of like, commercials, stuff on the radio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I guess it just makes sense, but I think the reason why so many people like them, somehow they marketed for people to know that their ingredients are fresh every day. They're supposed to get their produce and potatoes.
I think it probably just because they pay their people well.
Yeah, but you think that's what really makes a consumer comes by? Not everyone's that morally aware.
I know, but like the word of mouth thing, I don't know. I've never heard anyone say, well, actually, In-N-Out kind of fucking sucks. Like, I've never heard that before. And usually you would hear that type of shit. Like, everyone knows how shitty McDonald's is.
I think that's also because of the fact that it's a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
And I wonder why, like, it's always such, like, I feel like McDonald's employees were the people leading the whole we need to raise the minimum wage thing here back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, now I feel like a lot of other people, like, it's a way more involved topic. A lot of other people are more involved in it. But I remember back then it used to be a lot of McDonald's workers that were demanding the whole pay us $15 an hour. Now that's minimum wage.
Yeah.
At this point,
minimum wage in some places.
I mean, I remember minimum wage was like $8.50 when they were asking for something like that.
It's just, we've been, people have been asking for $15 minimum wage for so long. I feel like in a couple of years, they're going to be like, all right, we'll give it to you.
It's like, that's minimum wage. I don't.
Well, this is a victory for you guys. And then we're going to be like, well, we want 20 now. And it's like, oh, well, we gave you 15. You fought for years for that. We're going to give you 15. You're going to fight for a few more years to get 20. Those fucking bastards, dude. Capitalism's hard. I'm not going to say capitalism's evil because I don't want to be those people. But, like, it's just so difficult.
It's definitely an environment, or it's definitely a system that doesn't work for everyone.
Nah.
And that's what makes it so harsh for everyone to talk about. Because, like, you got people who definitely mastered it. And they're like, there's no problem with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, look at me. And then you have more than majority of the people that are in it, like, struggling to obtain their goals.
Stressing,
and obviously
dude. Their whole life, a lot of people's lives are just based on fucking stressing out. That's all they do. Their whole life is stress out.
And what's funny is that's what all life does already, but our stress is so different. You know what I mean? Like, every life on earth is stressing about, fuck, I gotta find something to eat, or fuck, I don't want to be eaten.
Yeah.
I need to find shelter, or I'm gonna freeze to death. Ours is like, it's the same thing, but in such a trickled down way. Like, we're talking essentially the same thing, but it's not based off how well we can hunt, how well we can scavenge, how well we can do it. It's just how well we can conserve and make money.
It's like, yeah.
It's a totally different.
It looks like I can't go out on Fridays no more. I'm just going to have to watch Netflix on Fridays. Fuck, bro. The struggle's real. It do be like that, though, sometimes. Sometimes.
It's so different,
than.
And then here we are talking about that when there's people who are in other countries, let alone in this one, too. I mean, it's struggling just to,
dude,
stay alive.
I know a bunch of artists, and I've done this too, so I'm not really talking shit, but like, I know a bunch of artists that just like are struggling, dude. Struggling. but just dumping money left and right into their music career. You got to pay for the studio time. You got to pay for this. You got to pay for that. I don't know how to do it. I got to pay this. You got to pay that. And it's like, fuck, dude. They're really putting all their eggs in the basket without no skill or talent, really, or build up. And then they're thinking that they could do it in like a couple of years. And then your whole fucking life, you're stressed as shit, dude. And then that just builds this issue. And then you start retirement late. And then, and then you're like, oh, I haven't made it to this milestone by this age, even though when I was fucking stupid as fuck and 19, I told myself I was. So now I feel like shit. I feel like that's capitalism. That is definitely a symptom of capitalism.
I mean, but capitalism can have so many different other symptoms as well.
It does,
if you're someone who's successful, the symptoms are completely different. Like the same diagnosis, but different symptoms.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know what that means then, based off that perspective. Like, just simply saying that means that it's more than
it's just like one thing.
It's more than a diagnosis. It itself is a symptom, because
there's a lot of
it's completely man-made. Like, I don't think I think the only other animals that have any form of capitalistic behaviors is those who've been taught by humans. Like, there are some types of primates that do bargain their food for mostly sex, from what I've heard.
Really?
I don't remember which but it is a primate. Like,
dude, isn't it crazy?
Actually, so prostitution is not purely a human concept. That does exist in other animals as well. Some other animals offer sex for stuff.
Should we feel ashamed that paying for sex is a thing? Should we feel ashamed?
I believe the taboo of sex work should loosen its grip for sure. To what extent, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it's a dangerous thing to just say, let it all go on. Because then eventually you'll start to see something, you're like, oh, wait, I didn't mean that.
Whoa.
But I definitely believe for sure, like, people should have more of an opportunity if they can.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the way how they make money, I mean, more power to them. I mean, like,
fuck it. The mic's fucking up. Sorry guys. The mic's fucking up.
You get what you pay for.
Mike, stop.
I did.
Nah, I do think sex work needs, definitely needs to loosen the grip on the taboo.
It needs to loosen the grip, but it also at the same time needs to go through some form of an extreme ramification, like not ramification, but like it just needs to be overlooked properly. I think I think it needs some form of regulation. Like, I don't know if you would still consider it the Wild Wild West era.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about...
What regulation would you introduce that would balance whatever... Well, what's the issue that you're trying to balance?
Well, for one thing, what's really, really new about today's age is the whole self-promotion. Just being your own agency, basically. Mm-hmm. OnlyFans has opened such great doors that when they were thinking of closing it, like, they realized how bad they fucked up. They, not even within a week, went behind their own word.
Yeah.
Because they realized, like, I mean...
We're fucking up our own creators.
Oh, yeah, they'll destroy their own platform just like how Tumblr did.
Yeah.
Tumblr was very, very dependent on sex-related, topics and stuff like that. But for the most part, with the porn industry, I mean, it's always, led by an agency and whatnot. And of course, they have their own regulations. I'm not educated well enough to say what is wrong and what is right, but I feel like with something being as tabooed, I don't think it's as overlooked enough for everyone to be on the same page. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of workers in that industry that if you talk to, they'd have so many horror stories, and not just in the production, like crazy fucking sex stories.
Oh, there's crazy fucking people.
But just stories of how they had to handle their business. Like, you know, all in all, no matter what, in the end of the day, this is all a business. Everyone's doing this for a reason. They're not just doing it because they think it's fun or something like that. They're doing it because there's a paycheck involved. And obviously, whoever's writing the paycheck can say what comes, what goes. No pun intended. But it's definitely for sure, I think, because not that many people are willing to really look into it. You know, I imagine a lot of things slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
And so with OnlyFans being its thing, and with Patreon and a few other platforms that offer this types of I don't know, it's not service, but like, you know, platform, I guess, just for them to perform on. I think that's the best, is to give them their own independency.
I don't know why OnlyFans doesn't just double down on the sexual content.
Well,
because they do other content on there too. I just don't see why they can't, like.
I think what because for sure what it is.
Because Instagram has sexual content on there for sure.
But they don't have porn.
They don't have porn, but they do have a lot of sexual content.
Twitter has more pornographic material compared to Instagram. Instagram only does I guess what you could say, lewd content.
Well, okay, so Twitter has sexual content and political content and everything. So it's like, I think OnlyFans can find that. And I understand the backlash that they were feeling, because it kind of almost made it seem like they were so quick to just kick off the sex worker. So I understand like the vibe where sex workers felt like they were being like just
shoot off,
get away. Like, you know, you thank you for making us, now leave. You know, now we want to focus on this.
Well, yeah, because for the most part, I mean, when you are a platform, when you're essentially a business, nonetheless, I mean, sure, you're making your money off of the content and the people going in and out or whatever, but it's not like those businesses are purely just self-reliant. They're just, you know, chugging along based off their own, you know, stuff. Like they of course they have investors putting stuff into it. And that's what they were talking about, was just like, I think what it is it's not like Coca-Cola is going to want to put an ad on OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. They probably eventually, you know, down the road or something, you know, once sexual content becomes less demoralized.
Yeah.
But for sure, like, look at YouTube. Look at how it was, you know, before the adpocalypse. Like, your content could be a lot more edgier than what it is today.
Yeah.
And once all these products were like, oh, they say too many bad words within this particular time frame, like, I don't want to be involved with that. Or they're talking about this subject, which this company doesn't represent, blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously, a lot of these, you know, investors, they're not going to want to put any bit of involvement in a platform that's just about fucking.
Yeah.
It's just straight up fucking. Or just modeling. Just, you know.
Modeling, but I mean, it's just real.
It's just
what are people doing with those?
It's just a sex charge platform.
Yeah.
But and that just goes back to what I'm saying, is it's just because of the fact that it's still.
And it's a shame that it is like that, but it sucks that that type of culture just, like, sometimes attracts. It doesn't breed it, but I feel like it attracts the worst people, like creep, like creepy people that want to do damage, that are very selfish and shit like that. So it's really hard to, like. it's really hard to it's really hard to like, I could see why a lot of people look at that community and be like, that community's up to no good because it makes this. But I'm like, nah, I think it just it brings that type of shit in, like, or just people find their way into it.
Well, like I said, it's taboo. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about back in the day, how homosexuality was tabooed. I mean, it still is to some extent, to some places, but before it was generally accepted, right?
Yeah.
People had very, very exaggerated forms of taboo against, the gay community. Like, they used to put a lot of
wasn't
crazy
even the gay
shit.
Community back then. It was just people who were gay.
I mean, there was a rising gay community back in like the 80s and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I mean, nonetheless, still then, I mean, being, gay was like, looked down upon, like, for a lot of reasons that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But I think that's just what it is today with sex work.
Yeah.
It's just it just because of a lot of people's already predetermined perception of it or whatever. I mean, obviously, there's bad apples everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, of course, porn is gonna attract some creeps, and of course, there are some, there's some fucking fucked up people that are a part of the gay community, but there's bad people in every community, everywhere.
Yeah. And
I just think that we as people, we just like to make note on a lot of the negative things. We remember, we appreciate good stuff, but we don't recall it. You know what I mean? It's not like you always are looking, like, if I was to mention a year and I'm like, name the events that happened in that year. Are you gonna be telling me all the accomplishments that we've done? I love every December looking at the scientific discoveries that we have made over the year.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are great. Like, for 2020, we finally got some actual, like, bit of an understanding of why we sleep. Before, if you asked a sleep scientist, why do we sleep? Their best guess is, I don't know. That's their best guess. But finally in 2020, they were like saying, like, I don't have the exact answers, so don't expect it here. But they were like saying it's like something about re-oxygenizing or fucking replenishing oxygen throughout our body. Like, it's more, it's a mental and physical necessity. Like, it's not just to recharge your brain. Like, your body actually needs this shutdown period.
Why?
You'd have to listen to them.
I
would have to go on a 10-minute YouTube video to educate myself before I could say why. But, like, they pretty much was like saying, yeah, from what we can understand here, you need to sleep as much as you need to eat. Like, it is some, like, they do say, if you were to just be completely devoid of anything, just air, because obviously that would be the first thing to take you out.
Yeah.
No food, no water, and no sleep. You would die because of no sleep before the others.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you can go, I mean, obviously it's not healthy or encouraged or anything, but I think you can go like several days, maybe even a week, if you have that fortitude without water. You can go weeks without food. Like, people do not understand how long you can go without food.
Fuck that,
you
dude.
You can go
God, that's so
quite
painful.
a long time without food. It's not going to be enjoyable at all.
No.
But you're still going to keep going. Like, you'd probably be like, fuck, I can't believe I'm still alive. But, like, if you at least had, water and sleep, you can go for quite some time.
I heard you could just survive off of beer because beer's got carbs.
Hell no.
Yeah, you could survive off of beer, just beer.
No.
Drinking just beer. People lost weight, bro. People have lost weight.
You literally die of dehydration. That's the first thing that will kill you is dehydration.
I don't know. Maybe they were.
Okay, so tell me.
Maybe they were allowed to drink water.
How come you drink beer, right? And the first thing you got to do is take a piss. And what happens after you take that piss? You need another drink.
Well, okay, so maybe they did water, but like, dude,
I'm telling you, that is a 101 survival tip is to not drink beer. If you're in a survival situation, it will literally dehydrate you faster.
Oh yeah, no, beer is. I don't even know what to do with beer. Fucking put it in your gas tank. You'd probably be better off putting it in your gas tank.
Beer is one of those things where if survival is the long term, like if it's like, all right, I'm not waiting for months or weeks, I'm waiting for years or stuff.
Yeah. Then
this is one of those long term remedies to help keep you going. Obviously, to drink in a more responsible manner.
Yeah.
But it's not like you can indulge when you're surviving on beer.
No.
But a lot
temperature. If you're really fucking cold,
that is not true. Your body temperature drops when you drink. You feel warmer, but you are not warmer. You're anything drinking beer
drops your temperature. Right?
Yeah, anything that you do that involves drinking beer lowers your chance of survival. The only way how drinking beer raises your chance of survival is in a car accident. And that's because when you're that drunk, you're that loose where your muscles don't stiffen that much and your reaction's so slow. So when a car impacts you, you don't, reflexively tense up. Because the more you tense up, the more you're prone to break your bones because your muscles are tense as well. It's not loose to give it that. Your bones are way more flexible than you think.
It's so fucking wild.
And so when you're loosey-goosey and you're not reacting and you just get taken by surprise, that's why usually a lot of the times when there's an accident involving a drunk driver, it's usually whoever's the most drunk is the least hurt.
Dude, fuck that. That sucks.
Yeah. That sucks. To think like, you blacked out and you didn't realize that like you got yourself involved in an accident that wiped out an entire family and you're like, you're not even hurt. You'll probably, once you get sober, feel a little sore.
I'm sure you might be able to survive a bear attack if you were pretty drunk.
Off of what circumstance? Maybe I need to educate you on the scope of a bear. So people have always wondered who would win between a bear and a gorilla.
And a bear would.
And it's no contest.
Fuck a gorilla.
People always thought, cause gorilla is so strong and whatever. But what's surprising is a gorilla has a bigger bite force than a bear. They do bite a lot harder than a bear.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about this?
I think so, maybe. I'm not sure.
Did we talk about this on the podcast? I can't remember. I don't know. We definitely talked about this. I remember you telling me that. I don't know. Yeah. A bear would fuck a gorilla up, though.
Yeah. Gorillas are strong, but, bears are strong, too. There's nothing that really proves how a gorilla can be stronger than a bear.
Do you think you could fight a cheetah? If you walked into this room and I locked you in here and there was a cheetah in here and it was fucking
so at least out of all the big cats you can mention, you put me up against the weakest one of them all.
Yeah, that's why.
The thing about a cheetah is it has one thing and one thing only, and that's it's really fast. It's fucking firm.
Yeah.
But if you locked me in a room with it and this is all what there is, first off, it's going to scratch and it's going to fucking hurt. And it's not going to be fun.
It's going to be a bitch.
But if you obviously knew this was like a fight to the death and
if you went in,
there's no way out but through it.
Yeah.
I think you could take it out.
Yeah.
You just got to protect, of course, your fucking
your head
and neck.
Yeah.
because those are the things that it's going to go for and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I mean, the moment you can get your hands around it and just start banging it on something hard. I mean, you got carpet, which fucking sucks. But like, if there is concrete ground and you were able to grab hold of that thing and just or something,
just fucking.
Honey badgers
on the corner of a furniture.
Honey badgers bully cheetahs.
Really? Dude,
like a cheetah would look at a honey badger and move the fuck. So cheetahs are so fucking. They're not OP. They're so underplayed.
Yeah.
That their babies naturally look like honey badgers just to help the population grow, just to give it an intimidation factor. Because no other a lot of animals see honey badgers and go like, "Fuck that! I don't want to deal with it."
Honey badgers are like the mentally ill meth addicts of like the animal kingdom.
Honey badgers and wolverines are really, really extreme animals. That and Tasmanian devils.
I was about to say Tasmanian devils.
But out of all of them, I think still a honey badger or wolverine would fuck a Tasmanian devil up. However, a Tasmanian devil does have the strongest bite force for its size.
Really?
Yeah, like it doesn't have the strongest bite force, period. But for how big a Tasmanian devil is and how strong it bites, no other animal has that ratio comparison. So nonetheless, you don't want to get bitten by a Tasmanian devil.
No, I'm sure that fucking hurts.
But I think if I remember hearing correctly, like as fucking ruthless and vicious as they are, I don't think they look at humans with like as extreme malcontent. I think they look at us as like, you know, another species of animals. Like, all right, you know, I'm not gonna fucking run away from you, but I'm not gonna try to pick a fight with you either, kind of thing. Like, if you fuck with me, then I'm definitely gonna go after you.
I think all animals do not stand their ground. They either fucking run or they fucking stand their ground and try really hard. But I've never seen an animal like, oh, what's up?
So there is an animal in Australia. I forgot its name. What's funny is, I guess it evolved in a way where, you know, jackrabbits, they have those big ass ears to help manage heat, blood flow up there. Some animals have it where they have like those frills to regulate heat. Like many animals have different ways to regulate heat.
Yeah.
We as humans, what's so unique about us is we can sweat.
Yeah.
No other real animals sweat.
Yeah.
This animal, I forgot its name. It's a mammal. It's a little rodent looking thing. Its way of cooling down is literally by smiling. It smiles to regulate.
Why?
It got to do something with blood flow, I imagine, or something. Like, I don't know what. But
dogs pant and dogs like put their tongue out.
Yeah. This one here, it legit, like, there's plenty of pictures of it. It smiles. And what's funny is it's lost its fear of humans. It doesn't look at a human and immediately think, I need to fight or flight from it. It's just like, hey, what's up?
I'm hot.
And there's plenty of pictures where it just shows the dude doing a selfie, like, and the animal's looking at the camera like,
what animal?
I forgot its name, but literally you just need to type in Australian smiling mammal and you'll find it. No problem.
Damn.
No problem at all. Because it's like
there's
one of the
weird Australian animals out there.
Well, Australia is its own ecosystem.
Dude, I've said this on the podcast a long time ago, but fuck Australia, dude.
What's funny though is we failed to acknowledge how dangerous the animals in America are. Because we're just nothing but cities and counties and towns.
Yeah, we don't know shit.
We failed to realize that bears are big, dangerous animals. Like, they'll fuck anything up if had to, if forced to or whatever. But an animal that kills more people that most people fail to recognize is deer. Deer fuck a lot of people up, both intentionally and unintentionally. Like when you're driving down the highway and you accidentally hit that thing, the deer doesn't just move. Like you kind of get pushed around as well from it.
Oh yeah, dude.
But
it's like hitting a concrete marker, dude.
So I don't know if it's that bad, but
Probably not. I'm exaggerating.
But what is a moose. If we're talking a similar animal, same type of,
Do we have moose here? Not in California.
Definitely not in California, but maybe in some upper parts of Washington. But that's, to me, a stretch. I don't think so. I don't think.
There's definitely some in Canada.
You know where there are for sure, I can guarantee, is Yellowstone. So Wyoming for sure, there's moose.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
they're so big, dude. Moose are fucking they're like taller than me.
I mean, I know you're tall and all, but like you're not even a proper comparison.
Yeah.
Like
no.
I've seen them walk by cars and they make like how you make grown people look like adolescent teens.
Yeah.
Mooses make cars look like cars children should be like riding in that sit literally inside of it and stuff. Like they're so
like
big.
The pedal cars and shit.
Yeah. They really change your scope. Like when you look at stuff,
they're so massive. Dude, did you see that? I know you follow fan maps on Instagram, but did you see that one where they had a map of where all the giraffes in Africa are and their different markings that they have. So like there's different, I don't even know if they're different breeds of giraffes, but there's like giraffes from different areas and all of them are different markings. Like some of them are like more like circular shapes that like kind of fit well. Some of them are more jagged, and then some of them are like jagged with like indentations in them. So they kind of not like a heart, but it would be that shape where it caves in like that.
A cloud pattern.
Yeah, and so it's weird that just different parts of Africa have different giraffes with different like skin patterns on them.
Well, I think it got to be the whole just something existing long enough at a certain place over time, moving to somewhere else affects it in one way or another.
But why? Why would one giraffe's skin print look different? And like they're pretty close to each other. Like it's not like, I mean, there's like, the northern African giraffes and the southern African giraffes, but there really isn't something that where you look on there and think, okay, now that's a southern giraffe, that's a northern giraffe. Like they're all, it's like almost random, and some of them are like really close to each other. Like there's like two right here and one right here, and that belongs to this breed of giraffe, and then there'll be like two more beneath it and one more over here, and these two are closer to these two than this one is to this one, but that's where they are. So I don't know what separates those giraffes, but I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Most of the time when it comes down to it, it's usually just the environment. Where they are, what they're eating.
Could be rocky, could be like more hilly or something like that.
Could be what they're eating.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, of course, there's the whole just because of the fact that they're just purely separated from each other. Over time, something gets born with the weird, unique trait. Something that you would either call a deformity or a gift.
Yeah.
And just that one happened to excel so much that it made more kids than the rest of the others. And that just became the new norm over the era.
That's crazy how that shit works.
What's even cooler is showing like one of the greatest forms of evidence that tectonic plates moved and Pangea existed and whatnot is finding identical species of prehistoric specimens, but on different continents.
Oh yeah, I think they also posted another map of like proof of Pangea.
Yeah. Because they showed highlighted parts of where certain shelled organisms, mollusks, and stuff. Yeah,
and I think we saw the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But no.
But I mean, like that was like that was huge groundbreaking evidence for that whole thing. Is when I forgot the name of the guy, but someone was like, "Oh shit, dude, this same fern exists across an ocean. How'd that happen?"
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, I guess you're right then."
Can plants grow? Can the same plant grow in different areas naturally?
Well,
unless it doesn't require much.
I mean, if you come and visit my house, you'd notice that I'm growing a bunch of tropical plants that would exist either the continent below us or across the ocean. A lot of the plant, in fact, a better example
I'm talking
is
about
go
like
to Davis. Yeah, go to Davis. Go to the Arboretum. A lot of those plants are Australian.
Yeah, but those were planted there. I'm talking like out in the wild.
You mean like through natural causes?
Yes.
I don't know if albatrosses eat seeds, but I know albatrosses cross oceans. That's how fucking crazy their migrations are. Obviously, it has to be from a bird, because what else?
How often do birds fly across the ocean?
I don't know. I only mentioned albatross because I know that they're the biggest bird that exists today, and they're so big that they don't even flap when they fly. It's just their wingspan's that big that an updraft can just keep them going.
They just...
Yeah, they say that they flap their wings once every 30 minutes or something.
Damn.
Like, just imagine, you're just chill. You're just... Oh, yeah. And then just for another episode, you're just... That's like the equivalent of you on a skateboard and you're pedaling once every episode of something. And just after that pedal, right? After that kick,
like,
you're just chilling.
Back into it.
You're just like falling slowly or whatever.
Yeah.
That's such an easy way of traveling. It sucks not being able to fly.
How can we fly? Why haven't we figured that out yet? Individual flight. Why can't I just like... What, like, don't I just, why can't we just put some wings on me?
Well, they need to lift up nearly 200 pounds, 300 pounds of weight. So they need to be A, really, really big, or C, really, really strong, or C, you need to be a lot more lighter than what you really are. Anything that fucking flies is in okay, this is going a bit to the extreme, but the biggest pterosaur that we've ever found, like fossilized, like flying dinosaur, it was so fucking big. Its wingspan like outdid a bus, right?
Yeah.
Yet it only weighed like 300-400 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like in comparison, if you saw this thing is like, damn near a building, right?
Yeah.
Yet I'm pretty sure if you were a linebacker and you fucking went at it as tough as you can and the thing was standing there, you'd at least like, whoa, or whatever. But if you found an animal the same size but couldn't fly, it probably weighed tons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a good example is look at my dog Kiki. Small ass little fucking corgi.
Yeah.
Barely topping 20 pounds, right?
Mm.
A chicken is as big as her. Bigger, I'd say. There's some chicken I've seen who make that dog look like a rat.
Yeah.
And those are what? Barely topping 15 pounds. And they're extra plump, too, because they're like breaded to be fat to, for us and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yet they're, so like, in order to fly, you'd have to be so light, or those wings had to be so strong. And another thing too, what people fail to realize is like, I don't think we'll ever have flying cars until we find anti-gravity. There's no way we're gonna have, because We've already invented a flying car.
We need so much propulsion.
Yeah, but the thing is it's not that it's impossible. We've made a flying car probably 50 years ago. I'm almost sure of it. Like it's not hard or whatever. If we can build a helicopter, we could build a space shuttle, we could build all that shit. We can build a flying car. It's not the can we do it? It's should we do it? And right now the answer definitely is no. And that's because in order to get something as big as a car to take off, how loud is it going to be? Like think about it. Like there's
as fuck.
Like listen to a drone take off that people use for just, YouTube videos and shit like that.
Yeah.
If everybody had a drone, it'd be so annoying. It'd be sounding like a fucking hive of insects are outside.
Oh, yeah.
It's just constant buzzing. It would drive you insane. Now imagine those drones, instead of weighing 5 pounds, 7 pounds, weigh 5 tons. Everywhere is going to sound like the outside of an airport. Damn, what the fuck was that? Oh, fucking, my mom left.
It's just my, the bug.
And then just
the bug pulling out.
Just imagine just every time, your neighbor leaves and comes home. And, gets to hover before it gets down. It can't just go. It's going to do this 30-second to 2 minutes like. And then imagine it's that asshole who's not getting out of his car. They're in their phone just running the AC.
And then when it lands, it just.
Yeah, and that's just your next door neighbor that way. And that person, just imagine someone's like, all right, I gotta get to work. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll see you later, babe. All right, bye.
Wait a second, I forgot my wallet.
Oh fuck. So yeah, that's why. Like, I mean, come on. If we invented a helicopter, I imagine a flying car is not like.
Dude, helicopters are loud as fuck.
Yeah, you can hear them when they're not even in your vicinity. Like,
yeah, I hear a helicopter, and you could like not see a helicopter.
Oh yeah, you definitely hear it, and you're like looking for it.
Yeah. What about planes though? Planes are pretty fucking loud.
Oh yeah, they're louder.
They make things vibrate when they're in the air.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like
when it'll fly over a house as it's coming down, and it'll vibrate shit.
Like a blind person doesn't need sight to know that an airplane's nearby.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, could you live in a house like that where like every 30 minutes, like
everything's shaking and stuff? I wonder what the prices of those houses are.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to say yes or no, and then someone to show you what your cost of living is.
Just like,
and then it's definitely a yes or no. It's like, nah, or yeah,
like $600 for a 3-bedroom, but everything fucking rattles every half hour, even in the night. And
what's funny is there's probably someone out there who's like, fuck yeah, I'd do that. I fucking live in Manhattan, in that fucking, that shit is there as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I imagine it's cheaper, but I imagine it's not worth it.
No,
I don't know.
Quality of life will go down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet you there are some fucks out there that are like, what, dude? Fucking totally. I could totally do that. Just get high. I just get high all day and fucking sleep like a baby, bro.
That, or they probably know how to wear headphones a lot. Like the noise canceling headphones, and then they watch TV.
That'll fuck your ears up eventually, dude. You see some of those streamers with that bump in the middle of their head. They look like fucking... Dude, it like you can see you like if you wear these these long enough, because these streamers are on for like 8 hours a day. Like we're wearing this right now, like not giving a fuck. But like imagine wearing this 8 hours a day for like 5 to 6. Dude,
I always tell you when we're done with this, I take this off. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I know. It feels a lot better when we take this off afterwards. I just don't like how fucking.
Yeah,
it's just in there.
Impressive, dude. It is.
I wish we could just hook up AirPods. If we had AirPods, we just talked.
I imagine it's gonna
happen
soon.
Eventually. Yeah,
we live in such a day and age now where now it's at the point where like we really don't need to think about it so far into the future or something like that. Of course, like medical advancements and crazy forms of engineering and whatnot. Yeah. But I mean, like, I imagine simply changing our headphones, like, that can't be groundbreaking work that needs to be cracked. That just probably is just something that's just inevitable within, due time. I don't know. It's funny too, thinking like now that we mention it, like a lot of technology is advancing and all that and whatnot. I was hearing a lot of difference in logistics, and like, it's one thing to invent things, but it's another thing too of also how to change a working system, how it already operates and whatnot. And I heard about I heard about a lot of proposals of self-driving cars and Elon Musk's Tesla trucks and all that. Mm-hmm. And there's this person who made up a really good point on not just that, but also city development and all that. Like, it's a really interesting concept that I just got into not too long ago, because it's like, it's one of those concepts that you really don't think about.
What's the subject called? Isn't it like social, urban
development?
Urban development, yeah.
Urban development and logistics.
Yeah. Okay.
Is I guess is the most proper way to categorize what I'm kind of talking about here. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. Well, like, I mean, not to offend any Musk fanboys out there, but this person pretty much was like,
God damn it.
This guy was really convincing me on how Elon Musk definitely understands things that I don't. I'm not one to be saying stuff, to be criticizing.
Yeah.
But this guy has definitely made me reconsider what Elon Musk's effectiveness and things are. Like, he's trying to make these electric trucks, battery operated and all that. And this dude was like doing a breakdown, pretty much of like saying like, the main thing that people want to know about your truck is how much can it hold and how long can it go? Like, those are the two most important things.
Yeah.
And he was like doing this comparison of like saying like, usually 50 kilograms of battery equals 1 kilogram of fuel. It's it's either 50 to 1 or 20 to 1.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a considerable difference. Like, we're getting there with electric, but it's not as, I don't know, as effective or as distinct or whatever as fuel or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But he was like saying, with that math, and I guess Elon Musk has said that he proposes to make the batteries 50% more effective than what they're really at right now. He said, even with that being said, these trucks probably can only hold about a third of what a normal truck can hold.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just like the more he was explaining it, the more it was like, this is a newer car. It's more advanced. It's definitely, you know, a more developed invention, but it's not as good as this.
Yeah, but the idea, I feel like, to me is very important. How can we? I mean, of course, we have to mine for these batteries and everything like that. But I think the step we're going in a step at the right direction, which is like relying off of stored energy and not, you know, fucking like just fucking taking resources out of the earth and using that and then dealing with those toxic chemicals that we shouldn't even really be breathing in.
Well, also, to be fair, you do need a lot of those toxic chemicals to make these batteries as well.
Yeah, but
the thing is his main thing is it's not there yet. It's too premature of an idea to roll out in mass. Like, in other words, right now there's no evidence showing that these trucks can outperform a regular semi. A regular semi, when you take accountability of logistics, you need to take you need to figure out, well, A, how much can the thing hold? And by that, it means how much A does the vehicle itself weigh, how much does the fuel weigh, and then how much does your cargo weigh? And with that all being said, like they say, usually it's like anywhere between 19 tons because you have like 1 or 4 tons of fuel, and the vehicle itself is like 6 tons. And so if that's it's, I wish I had the numbers all aligned. I'll have to show you the video. I will. But it was like just pretty much just saying like I guess like we're getting to the point where we are evolving the technology, but I don't think we're evolving the efficiency of using a lot of these things. Like another
we're
example,
consuming more power than ever.
Yeah, like another example that this person made. Again, he attacking Elon's ideas, but like, have you heard of his like dugout stuff? Like,
no.
There's the Vegas loophole, the stadium dugout loop. He wanted to do a similar thing in LA, which was basically a tunnel system. Basically, you would drive your car into an area, it would lower you down, and then you drive into this super highway that's underground. And so the one on LA, I don't really have much info on, and plus I don't even think that even took off the ground. But the other two did and actually are in production and whatnot. So there's this stadium that is one of the biggest stadiums around, like holds 250,000 people.
Yeah.
Really, really big. But the parking is ridiculous. The parking space for this stadium is 12 times bigger than the stadium itself.
Yeah.
It's just
some of that shit's stupid.
It's just a big, open, empty space when there's nothing happening. And they thought, oh, the solution to this could be a dugout loop, which is like essentially, I don't know how to how to abbreviate it any more simply without saying anything else. It's essentially a subway for cars. You just drive. Well, no, these aren't even cars. These are little pods. Like, they're fixed, not fixed even. They have rubber wheels. This is the more even crazy thing. They're not meant to like go take you from here inside, go there, go out, and take you somewhere. You just go to the dugout loop, descend into this thing, and then these cars take you point A to point B, and then you ascend back up and go on your day. And the biggest problem about that is it's a fixed loop, yet these are cars running on wheels. when it's been proven that the most efficient way to drive a fixed point is on rails. So I don't like it's weird hearing all these things when obviously like there's no doubt that Elon Musk is, is
but
a
how
genius.
close to fruition is some of these ideas? Because I kind of feel like,
Well, the dugout loop has been being made. I have seen footage of it.
oh really?
Yeah, there's newscasters talking about it and all that. Like it's for sure it's past concept. It's it's already past development. Like I don't know if it's legit fully functional, if it's still just kind of a PR thing that they're working on or whatnot. But this is definitely something that has started and is been worked on for sure. Definitely money has been already spent on it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, obviously I can't sit here and be like, oh, Elon's dumb. Why do that? Listen to me. But when someone else makes, like the point of like, oh, so you have these going from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. Why are you having them on tires that you're going to eventually throw away into a field that you don't know how to properly dispose? Because tires
are fucking hard to get rid of.
Tires are here forever.
Yeah.
Like a burning tire field can burn nonstop for decades.
Yeah.
For decades. Like, why contribute to that? I don't know. Because like he's also one for, I don't know why I did air quotes. I guess because it is kind of he's kind of contradicting himself when he's like trying to be green, yet at the same time he's having these cars that would obviously need to have parts replaced and repaired, when if they were fixed and if they were on a rail system, that's it. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to replace maybe a bearing or something here and there.
Yeah.
Metal that could be smelted into something else.
I don't know. I kind of think that, this is the issue, is that we have as a society have thought like, oh, if we completely get rid of gasoline, as propulsion for a vehicle, then we will be green as fuck. But we don't consider the materials it takes to make the stuff, the waste that it leaves behind once it's inoperable, and the maintenance required just to keep it running and everything. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it that also needs to be, examined when considering like its sustainability. And I think, it sounds like Elon Musk has been more concerned with just establishing that we're not using, we still mine the fuck out of certain materials in different countries to an unhealthy degree to make these batteries for these cars.
Just to even fall back even deeper into this whole thing, Elon Musk is proposing this basically taxi service, but with rockets. Like, I want to go from here to Istanbul within 30 minutes. I don't jump on a plane. I jump on a rocket.
Fuck, dude.
That gots to consume. There's no way that is going to be solar, wind.
Why do we need to let that happen?
We don't. And this guy, so it's funny. He has a lot of videos that go against him.
I feel like just because you have the millions of dollars to pay for such a service to happen doesn't mean that we should allow it to happen. Like that can.
Well, that's another interesting concept too. Is like, obviously, the more money you have, the more of a say you have. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, you and I walk into some just random building and start making orders. No one's gonna say anything. But I'm pretty sure Elon Musk can walk into some buildings that he has absolutely no affiliation with, and I'm pretty sure he can demand stuff. Not that he would, or anything, whatever. But I'm pretty sure the man has that much money that he can go into businesses and places that absolutely are not related to him whatsoever and make demands and orders.
Yeah.
just because of the fact that he has that much money.
People know him.
And yeah, I mean, there's
influence.
Yeah, there's this there's a lot of stories about, you know, people coming into power, right?
Mm.
And it's interesting hearing a lot of people who come into power, especially dictators, because you learn their backstories, like Hitler, Mussolini, all those people. They came from nothing. Like, talk about rags to riches stories. Like, obviously they're not the right people to look up to, but fuck, man. These were like shepherds, sons of a shepherd.
And like probably the most adversity anybody's ever faced.
I mean,
like for the most part.
It's sad to say, like, those are people that that should prove to you that nobody can become somebody. Like it
doesn't matter who you are.
Like, yeah, I mean, like a lot of these dictators came from not even wealthy families or whatever. Like I've heard a lot of like notable people in the American culture that had uprising that, you know, made a lot of stuff happen, come from way more prestigious families than these people, and yet still didn't impact the world as heavily. They just were a domino, you know, that led to something bigger than them or whatever. Yeah. When fucking these guys are the domino. Like they're just the one domino. There's no chain reaction. They just
yeah.
But it's really weird to see how someone can get so much money that it's like, I don't know how politically involved or anything Elon Musk is, but obviously doing something that involves international travel, you have to have some form of political presence, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just set up shop here and set up shop there and think that that's fine. Like, I imagine there has to be like, these countries got to be on the same page with each other.
Yeah.
You got to be the man that sits there to get them to all shake hands or something. I don't know. But like, I mean, history has already showed plenty of times that people who've accumulated wealth went into politics just because fuck it, I got the power now.
I have the influence and
yeah, it's crazy because like, you can't look at that person and be like, you're dumb or you don't know what you're doing or whatever, because they've obviously achieved something that you have not even remotely even, you know, obtained. But at the same time, you can see these people in you know, in real time, like develop a delusion of grandeur or you know, just have this God complex. Or not, I wouldn't go that far, but, you know, a form of arrogance that, like, they'll make a statement or a planning that even you as a normal nobody would be like, that don't make sense. It's weird how... I think we were talking about this earlier. Like, intelligence is not that easily defined.
No.
Like, I definitely know so many people who are so smarter than me do some actions that I just clearly could not understand why. Yeah, like just...
I think there's more to intelligence than we think it is. I think
definitely.
I think it's just that one little node inside your brain that's good at like, let's make this decision. Let's make that decision. That, you know, like looks at the perceived, you know, routes ahead and picks the decision for you. But I think it's a little bit more deeper than that. I think that some people make irrational decisions when they're emotional.
Right. I would say because like I mean, when it comes down to intelligence, right, there's that person who just remembered the fact. They're just good at reciting what they've heard. There's others who are good at computing, just seeing a problem and fixing it. Yeah. And then there's critical thinking, which is like essentially the same thing, but in a more, I don't know, it's not so black and white.
I think.
And then, yes, as you were saying, then all of those things at the same time while dealing with emotion. Like there's some people who are damn right smart, but the moment you see them get pissed or just, you know, emotionally off balance, they're just puddle of nothing.
Yeah.
Just there's some people they have to be in a very, very fixed environment or situation just to be in tune with that.
Mm-hmm. But you don't think, like, you know, there's like athletes that are stupid, but they're like incredibly intelligent when it comes to their body, their health. When it, you know, they know how much force to put behind something in order to make things connect. You know, like they know how to throw a football, they know how to throw a baseball, they know how to shoot a basketball.
They know what plays to execute. And they know what team does what type of, you know, does what type of strategies in what way, and they know how to counter it. Like they do in their own ways have mental traits that can't outperform you because they have just honed that part in so well. Then you just take that guy out of the field and put him in a chess match, and it's a different game, literally, like, on all chords.
Yeah. So I don't know what we think intelligent. I hate to say that people are intelligent or not intelligent. I'd like to more think of it as like a skill that you're really good at certain things or really good at. Like, you know,
it's good to say more so like this person's smart in this accord rather than to say you're smart and just leave it at that. You should just be like, wow, you're really smart with whatever subject that they were just talking about.
Yeah. And I think, you know, like, oh, you're really smart with athletics, you know, like that's, and maybe you should stay out of the kitchen, you know.
Yeah. So. And it's just, it gets really murky when someone of great influence gets into politics. Because they may get it down. I don't know.
Some people got it.
I don't know many examples of where it's universally accepted. But then again, politics, when is that ever universally accepted?
No, never.
But
everyone wants something different.
Yeah. And, you know, I am more intrigued, though, however, despite everything that I said, I am more intrigued with someone like Elon Musk entering a form of politics than like
celebrity
than like Donald Trump. And that's not saying it in a political spectrum or anything like that. Completely, like, I want this conversation to be completely devoid of what anyone and everyone knows of these guys' political history or anything. The reason why I say that is because it seems like Elon Musk, whether it's virtuous or not, whatever it is, he clearly has a goal in mind. And other than getting to Mars, it's developing mankind.
Yeah.
Like he definitely for sure has convinced me, despite whatever his actions and words or whatever, I'm pretty convinced he's trying to, you know, get us to another step higher.
Yeah.
He's trying
to advance us.
He wants to make sure he is the next Thomas Edison, the next Albert Einstein. Like he is trying to get that status. And he's definitely achieving it for sure. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that's a better suit for a politician than like Donald Trump. And that's just because, I mean,
I don't think politicians even want to be politicians. I feel like they just want to they want to fight each other and make out with the loot.
I think,
you know?
Honestly, I think actually a lot of politicians have a lot of different reasons why they're politicians.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever
like, you know how like everyone asks like, oh, why are you a cop? And it's like, some fucking crime happened in my family and I want to fucking fix it. Or, you know, they obviously were a collateral or victim of crime. So now they're
my community. Yeah.
I feel like politicians, it's fucking,
it could be
anything. It's just a draw of a stick.
Influence, dude. People just want influence.
Someone inspired me.
Bad.
Someone pissed me off.
Yeah.
I wanted to help this community, but now I'm here helping a completely different community in a different state. Like just so many. I could see so many different reasons, and also like at the same time, like I don't know. Like, do you feel like politicians attract the corrupt kind? Or it turns you corrupt? Because I think now at this point, it's pretty safe to assume that the majority of the public has already a predetermined outlook on politicians, and that is that they are all morally corrupt.
I think that there is some sort of, like, I mean, you believe
there's virtuous politicians, is what you're saying?
No, I think to some degree everyone's got to look and think, well, I know it takes away from these group of individuals, but it benefits this, and I think that is some, and like that helps. That's the side I picked. That's what I believe in, So like, there's a lot of decision making that goes on, that, and this is why a lot of people get furious at each other, but they don't understand that a lot of the decisions that we make as a society and enforcing rules means that we got to take rights away from other people sometimes. And what I mean by that is like, let's take, for instance, gun rights. In some areas of this country, it's a sacred value that families have that have been passed on from generations, and I'm talking for hundreds of years, because they've had to fight in wars, like that were fought on this home front, and that's turned into a cultural appreciation and acceptance for a lot of heinous stuff that has happened, and and protection above all else. And then you have a bunch of people that aren't from that community or culture saying, well, it's causing us this type of issue.
Yeah.
So we're just it's immoral for you to look at this that we're I know it's a tradition that you and your family and everybody in your hometown have always had, but this dude was popping shots at an elementary school. It's immoral for you to continue to believe that owning a gun is a cultural value. So we got to get rid of it. Your culture's harmful. And then at the same time too, you have a bunch of people on that side that are like, well, there is a lot of stuff in your culture that is very harmful that we don't want happening in our culture. So we don't want that gone. And it's like, you have people from different sides dictating how they should live each other's lives. And it's, you're always going to be robbing somebody's rights away in order to enact something. I mean, sometimes it's like, no one is allowed to kill anybody. All right. That's a cool right. I'm glad to have you guys take that right away.
You make an interesting fact though. No matter what law you do make, you are taking a right away. The murder, you're taking away the right to kill.
You're also taking away your right to discern the situation at that time and just afterwards, where it's like, you know what?
I guess I don't know if it would be defined as a right to kill, because that gives you the obligation. But and
that's just an extreme. Like we're not some libertarian wackos that are like, I think you should be able to kill whoever you want because it's a free country. Like I don't think that, but just to pick a very obvious and easy to understand example.
Yeah, no, but back to what I was saying, I feel like I wish more people like inventors, innovators, and philosophers were involved in politics, not businessmen and politicians. I mean, I guess it would make sense. You would want
damn
some
politicians. Why do they have to be politicians?
Why are they doing their job?
Yeah, I know. Fuck them, right?
But it's like, I don't know. It's I've always felt like throughout a lot of different forms of history as well, when you read up certain eras and you hear these key players, you're like, damn, why didn't that dude do politics or something like that? And it could also be because of the fact that they themselves were like, I don't want to get involved with this shit.
Yeah, dude, politics have always been
been rough.
Like
it's never been easy going.
It's never ever throughout human history has never been an easy go.
It's been a constant uphill battle.
Dude, there's never been a time where nobody in the country wanted to violently murder somebody that is in a cabinet somewhere. Like, there are people in this country that want to violently murder Biden or Trump or Pelosi or Schumer or Ted Cruz or anybody. Like, it does. I mean,
we can go
matter.
back to kings.
Yeah, like
peasants who, but of course they were raised that if they were voiced that they'd be killed. So obviously it's not as open. That's what makes us so different from any other place or time frame. Is just how much we've allowed our own people to voice their opinion or whatnot. But I'm pretty sure there was plenty of people who were like, I fucking can't wait for King Henry's fucking head to fall off.
Imagine living in that time where it was just like, yo, they just fucking chopped his head off, dude. We're under new management.
Dude, I mean, the closest I can imagine of them experiencing stuff like that is overseas. Like, do you remember watching the news when Saddam Hussein's statue was toppled over?
Yeah.
I remember watching that going like, oh shit.
Fuck, dude.
I'm too young to understand anything, but I am at least old enough to understand that I'm watching something.
That's different.
And I understood that I was watching a huge domino effect going on.
Oh yeah. And it's still going, and you're still witnessing it. And the big day is coming. The big day is actually happening, I think, when we post this podcast on Tuesday. Which is the 31st or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude, that is such a situation. That is such a fucking situation.
Yeah.
What do you do, dude?
Well, that's a thing. Also,
part of me is like, fuck you. We'll stay as long as we need to. We're gonna take this the easy route. But then again, they have if there was a bunch of people from Afghanistan here that were just like, hey, we were occupying this place and fucking shit up for 20 years. Hey, I don't think we're gonna really make the deadline. Might take us a little bit longer. I hope you guys don't mind. Of course, us as a country is going to be like, fuck y'all. Like, no, get out now. Yeah. 'Cause, like, you're lucky we're not blowing the fuck out of you.
But the problem is we don't have a rebel force also in our place that we're fighting. And it's not like they're like, okay, I'm done. And they literally just drop all their toys for the enemy to pick up.
Yeah.
Like that.
Here's loot.
I'm not politically involved enough to either attack or justify, because if I don't know that much, like all I can do is question. Yeah. I can't really like accuse.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can also with such, confusion, I could say, why did we leave everything? I get that we decided to leave.
We didn't have a plan.
Obviously. I mean, like, it just sounded it literally sounded like a kid playing with toys and go, I'm bored, and they just left.
Thought it was going to take a lot longer for them to like get their shit together,
to mobilize and
start taking over. And like we thought it was going to take weeks for them to take over something. It took them a day to do it. And so, like, I think the few months that we had, because I never thought, because we always extended it from May. I think it was like from May to here, and I don't even think those were the only 2 days, but like we always kind of thought maybe we could extend it just a little bit more, but I think now like we lost that ability to do so because they were able to pick everything up. I'm just like shocked that like the most dominant military factor lost that shit over 20 years. Like, there's something that just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I don't know enough, but like it's just like it's crazy how we spend more on military than anybody else, and everybody knows that we have a dominating, military, and yet we still fumbled that operation. But like, a lot of people say, oh well, we were just trying to pass it on to a government that really wasn't trying to fucking then what were we doing there? It was obvious that we were there for some like bad business.
So yeah, I mean, the thing is, obviously, of course, the thing is, America is, I feel like, going through some form of a zeitgeist.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that is definitely due to the internet.
Yeah.
Because back then we were only informed by the news.
Yeah.
Whatever we can learn was from there. Now that we have the whole oh, your news is wrong. This website says different kind of scenarios going left and right. We're more prone to actually like start like
and people's
questioning.
You can put your opinions out there. Famous people can put their opinions out there and shit.
But what I was gonna say is like I think for sure we're definitely more and more aware of the fact that war is not so black and white. I mean, definitely for sure generations have gone through this whole debate of going to war, not going to war. I mean, like Vietnam was such a prime example and whatnot. But it's not like people during Vietnam had the internet to show that white flag rally attack was really just a coup. And, it wasn't really an actual attack. Like, we went to war with Vietnam under a false flag attack.
Yeah.
And it took how many years for us to finally admit to that?
Oh, yeah.
60 years?
Something like that, yeah.
We finally said, yeah, so I mean, that thing that started this war, it wasn't real. Sorry, we just did that to convince you.
But then they kind of already knew that. The public knew about it, but it was just suppressed. Nobody talked about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just, the thing is, you could say that about every war.
Yeah.
Every war, there's literally someone saying that there is a reason why, and it's not because of what they're telling you.
Why?
Because
it's not what they're telling you.
Because they don't want you,
They don't want you to know.
Because you may not support it.
That's a shame, dude. Maybe we shouldn't do it then. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy, dude?
Thing is so many people don't understand the lives they're living, the comforts that they have did cost something.
They cost a lot.
It did cost a pile of stuff.
And it's not just like the $1.50 you pull out of your fucking sweaty pocket to pay for it.
But I mean, like, everything has a cost. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
And like, that's the real interesting thing is like, and maybe that's why politics are always a form of corruption. Like, there is no yes, no answer.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever happened to Afghanistan has happened. We can go about, which of course people have been spending ever since it's happened, constantly just going over why it happened and whose fault it is. But nonetheless, it's happened.
Yeah.
Like, what's the next step?
We'll figure it out on Tuesday. Now? Yeah. Figure it out on Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. Is like,
just checking the calendar, hoping for the best. Well, I think that's a pretty uplifting story to leave it on.
Yeah, it felt good.
Yeah, dude.
I feel good about my day.
Glad we talked about current events, which are good.
Yeah, I mean, usually news is good, right?
Sometimes bad, most times bad, but sometimes good. I'm going to probably cut us off before my mic starts falling down.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Peace out.
Oh, Jesus. It's so liberating taking those off. I can't imagine doing that for more than